Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yoon Jung-min. We start with the country's 22nd general election, which is now over, with a major victory for the liberal opposition parties and a crushing defeat for the ruling party. To talk more about how this will shape the new National Assembly, we're joined by our correspondent Lee Shi-hoo. Shi-hoo, break down the 300 seats in the new assembly for us.
Right, Jung-min. So it's a definite win for the main opposition Democratic Party, which has secured a supermajority for the second term in a row. If you look at the specific numbers here, out of 254 possible seats representing local electoral districts, the main opposition Democratic Party of Korea took 161, the ruling People Power Party 90, while there was one seat each for the minor Saemirae, New Reform, and Jinbo parties. As for the 46 proportional representation seats, the PPP Satellite People Future Party secured 18, while the DP Satellite Party, the Democratic United Party of Korea, including candidates from the Jinbo Party, secured 14. From the minor camps, the Rebuilding Korea Party, launched by former Justice Minister Jo Guk, won 12 seats, while the New Reform Party, led by the former PPP leader Lee Jun-suk, won 2.
So the assembly will once again retain its large opposition party, small ruling party status.
Right, this means the DP and its satellite party continue to occupy more than a majority of the new assembly with 175 seats, or 58.3% of the total. Moving forward, the DP may have additional support in parliamentary procedures from the 14 other minor opposition lawmakers elected, representing the Saemirae, Rebuilding Korea, and Jinbo parties. Meanwhile, the PPP and its satellite will occupy 108 seats, or 36% of the overall representation, although it may also have parliamentary support from the 3 New Reform Party representatives.
And how will this structure affect future legislative action in the National Assembly?
So as we've repeatedly seen in the previous large opposition small ruling parliament, we expect the opposition to take control of parliamentary procedures by the weight of its numbers. This will leave the Yoon administration somewhat without the momentum needed to push through its objectives. The People Power Party had originally aimed for 120 seats, but their main priority was stopping the opposition across parties from taking up 200 seats, which would enable them a constitutional revision or restrict the president's veto right. This doesn't seem likely to happen, but with the total number of elected lawmakers from the opposition nearing that threshold, we forecast added pressure on the ruling PPP's future course of legislative action.
How did this come to be? What was the regional breakdown of votes?
Right, so this election was sort of a midterm evaluation for the incumbent Yoon administration, taking place 2 years after its initial launch. And as we've seen, the voter turnout in this election was at 67%, the highest in over 30 years. As for the regional breakdown, the DP won in many capital districts and the traditionally liberal Jeollado province as expected. But the key to their large majority is perhaps their victory in several key battlegrounds along the so-called Hangang River Belt and also the traditional battleground of Chungcheongdo province. This is also where DP leader Lee Jae-myung actually cast his ballot during the early voting period. Meanwhile, the PPP won fewer seats in the capital region, but did secure traditionally conservative districts in the Gangnam-gu district of Seoul. Historically conservative Gyeongsang-do province also voted in favor of the ruling party. This is where the PPP's now resigned interim leader Han Dong-un campaigned right up to just days before the voting day.
I see. And what can we see happening in the assembly in the coming weeks?
So the National Assembly is starting to begin accepting registrations from lawmaker-elects, and this process will continue until May 29th, the day before the official launch of the new parliament. The candidates will also receive their new lawmaker badges upon registration. Later, we expect to see shifts in this leadership structures of the parties internally and possibly more power struggles between the ruling and opposition as they get settled into the assembly.
All right, Shi-hoo, thank you for your report today.
Thank you.